All right, our next guest say that unless you're a naturally thin person, you need to learn how to control your metabolism now. Otherwise, you may find yourself wondering what happened on your 50th birthday. We welcome Dave Northwest, the authors of It's About All About Energy, the Metabolic Makeover research scientist Stephen Cherniske, and board-certified physician Dr. Natalie Kather. Nice to have you both here. Explain metabolism, briefly.
Briefly, it's one of those things that's so confusing because everyone thinks, oh, I got to speed it up. I got to, I have a slow metabolism. In reality, it's about efficient. Right? What are you burning right now? Because everyone's got two fuels, fat and glucose or sugar. Improving your metabolism means you got to be able to burn fat. That's what naturally thin people do all the time.
Rapidly and efficiently.
Rapidly and efficiently burn fat. That's what metabolism is.
Oh, you mentioned thin people, but are there just naturally, do naturally skinny people exist?
They do. 20% of the population is naturally thin. And the amazing thing is, we did the research, I did the research and Natalie did the confirming clinical trial. We identified the metabolic pathways that enable them to be burning fat all the time, right? I mean, they're burning fat when they're sitting here like you and I are doing right now. Whereas most people can't burn fat, they're burning mostly glucose, so they're just like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down.
So I'd like to just say, for naturally skinny people, their situation is when they go into a restaurant, they leave that restaurant a little bit warmer. But for the rest of us, they go into that restaurant and they leave the restaurant a little bit fatter.
So it sounds to me, if you're naturally skinny or you naturally burn, your metabolism burns the fat or processes the fat, you're stuck with that. You can't change it. Is that accurate?
Well, you can. The Metabolic Makeover, our book is about giving any motivated person those metabolic advantages. In other words, if you weren't born, naturally thin, if you didn't have naturally thin parents who are muscular and athletic, then you're not consigned to, in other words, DNA is not destiny. Metabolic Makeover is about giving anyone the metabolic advantages of a naturally thin person.
How do you do that?
Well, so for example, for me, 13 years ago, when I went to the gym, I would just feel tired afterwards, and I might even nap at the gym. But now with the Metabolic Makeover, when I go to the gym, exercise is enjoyable and easy and fun.
So how do we for ourselves have a metabolic makeover? What are the steps people have to take? A lot of people just, they change their diet or they're drinking energy drinks thinking that's boosting them. I'm guessing that's not the answer.
No.
So-called energy drinks.
Okay.
They don't work? Is that what you're saying?
It's not real energy. Caffeine is the main ingredient, and it's just a stimulant. It's like a slap in the face. It stimulates the nervous system. So it makes us more alert, but like Stephen likes to say, so does also almost getting hit by a bus.
Right, okay.
Right. And you'd never do that 5 times a day. No. The point is that what we're talking about then is activating those metabolic pathways that tell the body, hey, burn fat. We all need energy, right? Between meals, when we exercise, we all need energy. The question is, where are you going to get that energy? And you see, if your diet is filled with a lot of starches and carbohydrates and sugars, then that's easy energy and your body will not burn fat. Why would it bother to do that when the glucose is right there? So that you asked how to do that. Number one, you look at the amount of sugar in your diet and you get that out of there. And number two, you use metabolic modifiers so that when you go to exercise, like Natalie said, it's not torture. Exercise becomes easier and more enjoyable, and then what do you know? You do it if it's easy and enjoyable.
What is a metabolic modifier?
Metabolic modifiers are natural compounds that exist in nature. My research is involved in looking at botanical medicine. We've got the largest medicinal plant library in the world. And we searched through thousands of plants to find those compounds that could literally turn up those metabolic pathways that burn fat. It's beautiful biochemistry, and it works. I mean, if this was just a new theory, I wouldn't be too excited. But with Natalie's clinical practice, she's been able to treat hundreds and hundreds of patients, and obviously thousands of people who have read our book, to experience those benefits. And they're benefits that are life-changing.
You say one of the tips is, first of all, is to eat more variety.
Yes. Unfortunately, a lot of people have very limited diet, but for health, we want a highly varied natural foods diet. In fact, I'm going to put a challenge out there to everyone in TV land that each month they eat one new type of vegetable. And that's just each month. Just add
something new.
Yeah.
Yep, 12 a year.
And then eat more uncooked foods. Why is that important?
Well, we have a tendency to overcook our food. And when you overcook the food, you reduce the nutrient content, but also if you really overcook it, like most people do with meat, you end up creating some serious toxins that we talk about in the book. And we explain this is not about becoming a raw food vegan. This is about becoming a conscious omnivore, right? So that you're consciously selecting the quality foods, knowing what impact that food will have on your body. Food is information. It's not just like the taste here and the calories there. Food is information to every cell in your body.
What about the idea of exercise? Do you add in is exercise part of all of this?
It really is. But as Natalie said, she tried to exercise and it was torture, so she didn't do it.
Right.
Who would do something that feels bad? So the metabolic makeover is about making exercise easier and more enjoyable. So then number 2, of course, is producing results. Even if you go to the gym and you don't get results, who's going to do that? So metabolic modifiers help you to experience results. So you actually look in the mirror, you look at the bathroom scale, your friends will say, what are you doing? All right, because they want to know. You've got more energy, you've got a more spark in your eyes, and that's what the book is about.
Well, the book is fascinating. The Metabolic Makeover, available in all the places where you can buy a book. You can get this one, and it will change your life. Thanks, guys, for coming by today. We really, really appreciate it.